Hello, my name's Matt Cameron and I help people connect with digital marketing. Talking today about how to dedupe records using an SQL query. This is a question that came up recently and this was presented to a user group as well. So this discussion split into three parts: simple example, advanced real world example, and we'll welcome any suggestions, questions, comments. Simple example. Okay, so pictured here is a table with lots of duplicate records, 16 in total, and the different colours represents the duplicates. So we can see many blues, we can see many reds, and we can see a couple of greens. That's the current state. I want to scroll down on the article where it's written, and our future state is a database with no duplicates. So instead of 16 records, we've now got 8 and we've got 1 colour per record. So that's an example of deduping, taking something with lots of things in it and reducing the amount of things so that we've got one each of whatever that thing was, in this case colours. That was our simple example. Told you this would be simple. A little bit of SQL here. So this SQL talks about how to do this. So this is all about how to use SQL to do a dedupe. The SQL we've got here is compatible with MySQL and most likely many other SQL platforms. If you're coming from a marketing cloud background, then these drop tables and create tables and insert records into tables will need to be done using the UI. Likewise, you won't be able to have an insert into destination in the SQL. But with that out of the way, the SQL that does the hard work is selecting the color, partitioning over, and selecting the first occurrence of each type. So that's it there. Once it's run, then they'll be in the destination table. If we were to select ID and color from that, one row for each color. Okay, so that was the simple. Going to a little bit more of an advanced use case. Just before diving in, we often find ourselves in a duplicate situation because there's no rules around who and what gets put into databases and tables. So one way not to get into the mess that's pictured here, so we start with all the best intentions and then we get into the mess, is just to have some rules about what people do. And it comes back in many cases to things like subscriber keys. What will be used will be an account number or an email or what. We just need to be really clear about, and everyone needs to use the same rules. So if it's going to be the subscriber key is going to be related with the account number, then everyone does the same thing, and that's a really well-known rule. And that way, duplicates won't occur, and we won't need to have a discussion like this or do these sorts of things. So take away, make sure there's some rules in place so that everyone knows what field will be used as a subscriber key. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, there's generally 3 reasons for deduplication. Improve the customer experience. So make it so that only one email will get to the customer. Ensure customers don't get spammed. Ensure that we have a record which has all the information for the customer. So that might include the fact that they've opted out. So we don't have 2 records, we have 1, and that 1 record has all the information. And another reason that you might like to do dedupes or dedupe a database is because many marketing cloud platforms use a per content pricing model. So it just tends to make sense to remove the unnecessary duplicates. Okay, let's have a look at our, in this case, in our more advanced case, our process. So we've got 2 fields. We've got an email field and we've got a contact ID field. And in our destination, we've got a dedupe key. So our email, obviously it contains email, and our account ID, well, it can contain anything. But let's say it contains email as well, and we want to dedupe and use the email as a dedupe key. It's a scenario that you may want to do, or could be many other things, but let's just work with that. So we've got email, which is populated with email, and we've got contact ID, which is populated with email too. And our destination dedupe key, our desired state is just to have our database in this desired state with dedupe key contain two records, one for Sam and one for Alex, whereas we're seeing a number of keys and a number of records. So similar rules previously, if you're coming from a marketing cloud perspective, there's some tables that will need to be set up for this and some rows to be put in. With the destination database, the most important thing there will be the primary key. So we need to make sure that we've got the primary key set up on our destination database, because that's how the dedupes are done. Just having a look at the sequels. So our first sequel will be to select the email into the dedupe key and select the first occurrence of the email, similar to what we did with our simple example. And likewise, our contact ID, selecting into a dedupe key from our source to our destination. And we're doing the partition row over, we're over partition by, and we're selecting the first occurrence of each of the dupes. So that's how we're retrieving that duplicate. We do the select from the destination, and we really expect this to occur in their destination. So easy to do, easy to try, and that's an example of how to do dedupe, simple and more advanced, using SQL. So hopefully for the purposes of this discussion, we've helped you take the messy dedupe situation and turned it into a lovely straight line in this diagram here, where everything's nice and clean and there's one record per contact. Questions, suggestions, welcome. Check the link for the questions. There's a provision there for comments. And thanks for following along. We'll get, in a future article, we'll go to some of these use cases about deleting contacts, how to consolidate records, and we'll do that in a separate article, a separate discussion. Thanks. Bye.